holy act. So I'll just search for it. Okay. So today we're of course here for the Sheva of Ayala and Dvar. And tomorrow we're going to lay in shul from Savery Vayigash. Now, tomorrow? Yeah, Jewish tomorrow. We're going to, this is a Jewish, unless I wasn't looking, this is a Christian ceremony.
No, Jewish tomorrow.
So Jewish tomorrow, we're going to...
Oh, God.
We're going to lay in Savery Vayigash. And we left off at the end of last week, in which Ben had his Torah and everything. We left off at the end of last week with Yosef placing having his son place a cup in Binyamin's sack. So Binyamin has now been accused of stealing from Yosef. So in the first pasuk of this week's Sedra, Yosef is going to say, "You need to be my slave," and Yehuda is going to stand up and say, "Don't take him, instead take me. Please, let me be your slave." And because of this incredible act of selflessness, and because of this seizing the moment and becoming the leader, Hashem blesses Yehuda that he and his descendants will be among the leaders of the Bnei Israel. And then we see later, Yosef, when he sees this incredible act of selflessness, he realizes that the brothers are not just like they used to be, because before they were thrown him in the pit, they hadn't treated him well. And he realizes that in fact, they've all become great men, and he tells them, "I'm Yosef, I'm your brother." And then his brothers see that Yosef is in fact, he's come from nothing. He was a slave in Egypt, and he's come to be the prince of the whole of Egypt. He's come to be a great man. So we learn from this two examples in this week's Sedra of where people come from nothing, but by work, by acts of selflessness, by trying, and through spirit they succeed. And these are not the only two examples in the Tanakh, there are many examples. David HaMelech, David who slew Goliath, he was just a shepherd, but he went on to become arguably the greatest king of the Bnei Israel ever. He was king of Israel for 40 years. That's not the only example. In Sefer Shoftim, in Tanakh, in Judges, we have one of the judges is Yifach, who is rejected by the Jewish people and by his brothers and everyone, yet he becomes the lead judge of the Jewish people. And finally we have in this week's session, we see, then from Yechezkel. And Yechezkel led the Jewish people just during the Babylonian exile. And this was a time when the people were very low, and nonetheless he managed to achieve great spiritual heights for the Jewish people, and we eventually came back and returned to the Mikdash. So we see a continuous theme in the Sedra and throughout Tanakh of people who use acts of selflessness to prove themselves and to show how great they are. And so if I can just digress from that for a minute, and I know I'm probably using up my allotted time very fast and losing all of your attention, but nonetheless I'm going to try. Just a few days ago on Ben's wedding, he lit the final light of Ben and Ayala. And Ayala's wedding also went. I said that because it was he who lit the menorah, I was going to say, because it was Hanukkah. And on Hanukkah, Rav Kook asks, in a letter he wrote, published in his book, Brachot Haraya, the letters of, he was known as the evidence of proof, Haraya. And he publishes a letter in which he asks 3 questions on Hanukkah. Question number 1, why is Hanukkah 8 days long? The reason it's 8 days long is because the Hasmoneans, the Hashmonaim, they found enough oil for 1 day, and they put it in the menorah, and it burned for 8 days. And this was a great miracle, but if they found enough oil for 1 day, and it burned for 8 days, that means you get a miracle worth 7 days. Why is Hanukkah 8 days? So park that question, let's go on to question number 2. The basic mitzvah of Hanukkah is to light 1 light each night in every household. So why do we have 2 hidurim, 2 embellishments on the mitzvah? Why does everyone light in a family? And why do we light 1 on the first night, 2 on the second night, 3 on the third night, etc., etc., etc.? Because it's split. Exactly, right. So Rav Kook gives the answer. He says, actually, they could have used any oil. At this time, if you don't have olive oil, which is what they use, which is what you ideally want to use in the best Vayigash to light the menorah, use any oil. But the miracle was that they were able to go that extra mile. They had olive oil. More than that, they could have used richly impure oil, because at the time, having had idols and dead bodies and everything, most of the Bnei Israel, most of the Jewish people were in fact themselves impure. So there were two hidden of the miracle. The miracle was that they had this rich and pure oil, and that was olive oil. So because of that, we had two embellishments. We light every night an extra candle, and everyone lights. And more than that, because of that, all 8 days were a miracle. It was a miracle that they had the oil at all, not that it burned for 8 days. It was a miracle that they had the right oil to burn for 8 days. So Rav Kook asks one final question. The Gemara in Brachot Amud Chet Amud Bet says that the Chashmonaim, when they came to the Beit HaMikdash, they found no suitable solid gold menorah. So they had to make do with the only menorah they could find. And what was that? That was an iron menorah plated with tin. Now the obvious question is, if Hashem was willing to go to such lengths to get this olive oil, to make sure it was richly pure and everything, and make it burn for 8 days, could he not have sent them a gold menorah? Why would they? What is this? So Rav Kook gives a beautiful answer on this, which links in exactly with this week's Sidra. He says, olive oil is about spirit. Olive oil represents what's inside you. The menorah represents the physicality, it represents the beauty of the mitzvah. Yes, it's very important, and we saw on the wedding Ayala looking so beautiful, and they're looking very handsome, and that's very important. And it's very important that we always have a nice gold menorah if we can, or silver, or anything like that. But the most important thing is that spirit. That's what drove Yosef. That's what drove Yehuda to offer himself instead of Binyamin. It's spirit. It's being able to rise to the occasion. And we can see in Ayala and Ben. Ayala, I've had the privilege now to know you and get to know you quite well over the last couple of years. And I can say, I can't think of anyone with a more beautiful, pure spirit, someone who really wants to be good, and who grabs every occasion and lives lives to the full every day. And then I have to say of you, I don't know anyone who's more. Obviously, I've known you since I was born. It's less like that. But I don't know somebody who's more. I don't know somebody who's more honourable and more upstanding and lives by his moral code. You both have this purity of spirit that the olive oil, the richly pure olive oil, represents. That's why we have to have this mitzvah on Hanukkah. You both follow in the example, and I say this in all seriousness, you both follow in the example of Yosef, of Yiftach, of Yehuda, and of David, and of Yechezkel. You both follow in this example, and you're both wonderful examples to all of us of that. And with this strength, because there will always, in any marriage and in any life, there are always going to be difficulties. Life has its difficulties. Please God, we hope and pray that they will be minimized in your lives together. But there will be something. There's going to be some point when you've had a long day, whatever else it is. But with your spirit together, you'll be able to overcome whatever life throws at you, and you'll be able to get through everything and work together, and you'll build a wonderful home and a wonderful family, please God, and you'll be a shining example to all the rest of us in Klal Yisrael, and we wish you all the best. Amen.